On this day, celebrating the solidarity, freedom, and power of workers around the globe, I salute you, bid you a warm greeting, my fellow cooperators. I'm joining you remotely from the state of New York, the US headquarters of CoLab Cooperative. We're a transnational cooperative, a digital agency with member owners working collaboratively in technology from Asia Pacific to the Americas, counting members in Canada, the EU, India, and the United States. We send our warm regards and support to our esteemed cooperators on this auspicious day in India and beyond. In considering the topic of this session, the identity of a new generation of cooperatives, the question I'd encourage us to ask ourselves is, how might the cooperative model evolve to reflect this unique moment in history, our prevalence of digital networks, technology, innovations, so as to better contribute value back to communities, society, nations, and planet? This question brings me to consideration of open cooperatives, which for me represents the most exciting aspect of the current cooperative movement, and which is very much an inspiration for our own work and evolution. Open cooperatives, as suggested by Michelle Bowens, the director and founder of the Peer-to-Peer Foundation, represent a new generation of cooperatives with 4 core characteristics, which I'm going to slightly reframe for you, and to which I would like to add a 5th, which we found important at CoLab. First, an open cooperative would be characterized by an internal cooperative structure oriented towards the common good. So a co-op's designed from the ground up to be of benefit to the common good. We would be organized socially and politically transnationally, and yet continue to work locally. Our governance models would include consideration of all stakeholders as we move towards multi-stakeholder cooperative models. And we would, as a byproduct of our industry, provide both material and immaterial benefits to the global commons. And the 5th point, which I would like to suggest, is fundamentally important, as well as the consideration of a shared ethical framework, a shared value system that we can all agree to abide by in our work, in our relations. Now, of the aforementioned, what feels most important to emphasize here today, and which we find as our guiding North Star, is this consideration of how do we benefit the common good? How do we orient our work, our lives, our relations towards the common good? This naturally brings me to reflect upon the beautifully rich spiritual and cultural traditions of India, of Asia Pacific region, to which I believe all of humanity owes a debt of gratitude. We've been gifted with a rich body of knowledge and wisdom upon which to build a new generation of cooperatives. And it's this tradition that I think of when I think about orienting our organizations, our cooperatives, towards the common good. I also reflect back on the founding of CoLab, on its reaction response to the zero-sum game mentality of so much of Silicon Valley and technology ventures. Entrepreneurs competing for attention, for material wealth at the cost of the well-being of our communities, families, nations, planet. We were looking for a work framework that could counter the selfish tendencies, the greed being propagated by consumer capitalist systems, replaced with a commitment to working together towards caring for each other's families, for our communities and the planet. At the time, we only had a nagging conscience that there must be a better way to work, to earn right livelihood, than the economic model is so prevalent. Now, as we witness today, the tremendous disservice that these multinational technology companies do to humanity, it's clear that this call to action, this call to create and populate, to work together as part of open cooperatives, has never been more urgent. To touch briefly upon the problem that we collectively must address, I'd like to turn to the work of Tristan Harris, who has very clearly articulated the current conundrum through his work for the Center for Humane Technology, again, reframed in my own language. Our society is being hijacked by persuasive technology, often with greed as a fundamental motivation, whether it's thinly or obviously veiled. Technology is tearing apart our common understanding, truth, hijacking our attention, causing us to feel isolated, often inadequate, discontent. Of course, this is all happening in a time, place when we most need to be working together, when we're faced with daunting global challenges, challenges bigger than any one community, any one nation. Pressing problems like poverty, global warming, and the tremendous polarization of aspects of our society. The good news, my friends, on International Labor Day is that we, the workers, have the power. At this moment, it feels appropriate to, of course, acknowledge the rich legacy of India and the Asian Pacific region in inspiring social movements, progressive workers around the world. How do we build upon the legacies of the Mahatmas, of the great ones? The succinct answer for me is that we build open cooperatives. We build organizations, products designed from the ground up to benefit society, that are generative, that give back rather than being extractive. We actively work structurally to decolonize our organizations, products from extraction-based systems that drain life from society and planet. We build frameworks of equality, nonviolence, compassion into diverse work environments as a counterweight to polarizing forces of mass media and technology. And yes, we work together to birth this new generation of co-ops rooted in shared ethics, crossing boundaries of nation, race, class, gender, religion, in a courageous act of international solidarity, an affirming of shared humanity, working together towards the common good. And in this, my fellow cooperators, I cordially invite you to join this wonderful experiment in cooperativism and open cooperation as we together discover, share, and iterate upon best practices to build such open organizations as we progress together. Thank you very much.